Welcome back, everybody. I'm Jenny from Homeschool Teens with Jenny. Thanks for joining me today. I am going to talk a little bit about my ninth graders ELA. You guys have seen a couple videos where we tweaked and changed the ELA a little bit. Then you got a 12 weekend update, and the graphic had a roller coaster on it because that's about how me and my daughter felt about ELA 12 weeks into school. We have finished first semester. We've already started second semester, and I realized I haven't updated them on how well ELA is going. So, this is actually a really positive video. It just took us a while to figure out how to do high school English with her. She's a lot different than my 11th grader, and so it just took a little bit of trial and error to figure it out, but we're on a really good path right now. And so I just wanted to share with you how things evened out and kind of where we're at and what we're using. So that's what we're going to talk about today. We had started with a lot of stuff. I actually went back and I watched all the ELA videos for her before I did this video. And I thought if I actually recapped everything, it would be more confusing than just telling you what we're currently using. So hopefully you don't mind if we just talk about what we're using now because it's going really well for her. My ninth grader has ADHD, so that is something I have to take into account when we're doing school. Long lessons don't work for her. Video lessons that are 30 or 45 minutes, that does not work for her. And so we have had to just kind of figure out what works, and I think we're finally there. So let me tell you what we're doing. First semester, we were using Phonetic Zoo, and it went really well. We used level A. Some of the words in level A are like 3-letter words that you would do in first and second grade. You know, they're like really easy. And then they have some words in there that are not easy and not 3-letter words. And it's just weird, the spectrum for level A. At first you think maybe we should skip this level and just go into level B, but I didn't want to do that, and I'm glad I didn't, because once you get into the program, there's some weeks, yes, that are very easy, but there's other weeks that are not. And so what we did is I would give her the words. She would write them on the whiteboard. That's her favorite way of kind of recording information. So she would write them on the whiteboard to kind of study them. And then we would take our spelling quiz. If she missed any, she would just rewrite that word that she missed 3 times, and then the next day we would repeat the same spelling quiz. When she got them all correct, we would move to the next list. So we were able to get through this in a semester. She was a little worn out with it, and so we decided to do level B for 10th grade and level C for 11th grade. And so spelling is one of her main weaknesses. It's just something we do need to work on. And so that was kind of what we decided. So Phonetic Zoo A is done for this year, and we will move into level B for her 10th grade English year. We did drop Wordly Wise. It was just adding to what we already needed to focus on, and it was just taking away from other things. Vocabulary is important, but she gets vocabulary across a lot of subjects. She does literature-based learning for a lot of her subjects like world geography and history. Those are big, and also now I've transitioned her into a literature-based learning for science. And she is just doing a phenomenal amount of reading right now. And part of the IEW writing program that she's using also includes vocabulary. And so we just decided it was a little overkill and just to take that away. We are still using the Not Consumed High School Reading Journal. When she has reads, whether they're fiction or nonfiction, we use the reading journal. And it was a rough start at first just because she had never been exposed to evaluating a book that way. But after 2 books, and me giving her notes after each entry, it's really smoothed over, and I can just see her skills really developing there. And so there are times we will take a break and just free read a book. But we're also still using the journal for a lot of her reads. So it is a major component of our ELA program. For writing, we're using IEW Structure and Style Level B. We have never been successful with IEW, but with her this year, it has clicked and she really likes it. And when I talk about next year, she said, whatever you do, don't change writing. I'm sticking with Andrew Pudewa. And that just cracked me up a little bit. But she wants to stick with the IEW formula. I think she likes the security of having an outline, a layout, knowing what's expected of her. Free writing gets a little scary when you have ADHD because you can't get your thoughts organized easily and you're all over the place. And his system really helps her rein it in. It gives her structure, and she's been very successful with it. We use it about every other week because it's an intense program and you can burn out really quick. We kind of did in first semester when we weren't pacing ourselves as well. And so after our 3-week break over Christmas, I said, okay, we need to just make a few tweaks so we don't burn ourselves out. So for my 9th and my 11th grader, we have slowed that program down just a little bit, and we will just use what we don't finish into next year. So it's not a big deal at all. One thing that I was just really wrestling with was grammar because nothing has ever stuck for her. We've used things from Beowulf grammar with Guest Hollow to easy grammar. We've gone to Abeka grammar. I mean, we've covered the scope from less to extreme and everything in between we have tried. And just nothing has really worked for her. And she does better, and I think all students do better when we know how to apply what we're learning to what we use in our daily life. And so something I'm doing with her right now is an OutSchool class. It's called Grammar Made Easy. It's a weekly grammar club for high schoolers. And they meet once a week for 1 hour, and they cover different aspects of grammar and kind of how you would use it every day. But they go over all the parts of speech, and they don't do it all in one class. It's a weekly class that they have through May. So they will cover different topics, different weeks. And the teacher is very organized. He's actually a homeschool dad. He lives in Southern England, so his accent is just awesome. I love listening to him. And he actually has a list of everything that's going to be covered each week through May, which is just fantastic. So she has really enjoyed that because they will do exercises. He'll put an exercise up in the class on a screen, and the kids have a chat feature that only goes to him. And so they do the exercise, type it out in the chat, send it to him, and he sends any corrections back to them, and then they discuss it as a class. And they go through anything from there and there, when to use what there, to parts of speech, to what to abbreviate, what to capitalize, all sorts of things. And it has just been a lot of fun. It's kind of brought grammar to life for her. And that, for me, is the answer to grammar this year. So I am just ecstatic, if you can't tell, that we have found something. Just the workbook dry approach was not working, but the interaction with other students, with him, has just been really great. And the method that he uses keeps her engaged. And so I'm just thrilled with that class. Another class she took was only a one-time class, but it was called Reading Strategies. It was on OutSchool as well, and it was called Reading Strategies for Teens, 6 Steps to Understanding and Paraphrasing. And what they would do is take a long passage, and they learned how to break it down and how to summarize a longer work. And that is just something she needed practice on. I'm not sure we won't go back and do another class on the same lines. I need to email them and see if they'll use a different writing piece or if they use the same one, because they had several classes listed and it's only a one-time class. So I wasn't sure if they would change up the writing or if they keep the piece the same. So I need to check with that. But she did the class. It was 1 hour. Her instructor was fantastic. And she was actually the only one in that class because nobody else signed up. But I'm thankful they didn't cancel the class because of that. And she still met with my daughter, and they just spent an hour going through those skills and practicing them. And my daughter at the end of the class came up and told me everything they did. She was really just energetic about it and excited about it. And she actually got a certificate of completion at the end of that class. There are some really great classes on OutSchool. If you have a kid that needs the interaction and the engagement, I would look. And the reviews typically will tell you what to pick and what not to pick. I have never had a bad class, but I do look at the reviews and what the class covers, the age, but they do a good job with internet security on that class. Or on that website, not that class. And it's just been a really neat supplement option for me as a homeschooling mom with a kid that really wants to engage with other kids and a teacher online. And I can't teach every subject and I can't make everything exciting and interesting. And so it's just nice to have that on the side that I can access and use and that she can enjoy. So that's what we're doing, guys. We have finally just settled in. Oh, I didn't talk about literature. I talked about the reading journal, but how do I pick literature for her? Basically, what we decided, we started out with just interest reads for her, things that she was interested in reading. But as we went through the World Geography and Ecology course by Beautiful Feet, we realized the literature being put in the geography course was slowing things down too much. And so what I did was I took the literature for that class and I moved the literature readings over to her ELA assignments. And that has worked well. She has been having assigned reading after assigned reading over the past several months. And she did ask if she could just take a month off and have 2 free reads. And I will have her use the reading journal with those free reads. I just asked that one of them be a missionary biography, and then she could pick the other one with what she wanted to do. So that we're just taking a break from the assigned readings for a while. And sometimes when you don't have a student that's just a big reader, and she's not, she likes to read what she likes, but she has a hard time with just constant assigned readings that she has to kind of push herself through. I find that she needs breaks in between a lot of that assigned reading. So that's something I've learned about her this year as well is, maybe have 2 or 3 assigned readings and give her a free read break. And it just lets her kind of recharge and then get back to the assigned readings after that. So that's kind of how I've handled that. But I've just been so pleased how things have evened out. I didn't want to leave you with the roller coaster video and not tell you that things had really leveled out and that we had found success in ELA this year. I really like the way we're doing things right now. And when she has the grammar class on Mondays, she doesn't have anything else ELA that day because it's an hour block of a class. So Mondays are grammar days, and everything else falls within the rest of the week. And it's worked out really well for us. So I just wanted to make sure I jumped back in and told you guys that things were going well, what we were using. I hope this is helpful if you're struggling with ELA as well. And just hang tough, persevere, because typically, even if it takes an entire semester, you will find some kind of common ground mid-year. So that's just kind of what I've learned with her. So I hope you guys are having a great homeschool year, and I'll see you in the next one.